Hello, hi, good evening, and a very, very warm welcome to all of you in today's webinar. As always, we are going to wait for a couple of minutes to allow everyone to join in and settle down, and then we'll get started. In the meantime, there are a few important things that I would want to discuss with all of you, and that will help you get the maximum benefit from today's webinar. So, what are those things? First and the foremost is how are we going to interact? It shouldn't be a monologue session, otherwise, it will be very boring and after a few minutes, you will find it difficult to concentrate. So that's where we are going to use two tools which are available to us in this webinar format. One is chat, using which we are going to discuss amongst ourselves. So I would want to understand your perception, your thoughts about something. So for that, we are going to use the chat option, which is somewhere down below. The second option that we are going to use today is Q&A. So if there's any question that you would want to ask me or Mukeshji is a FIEO official who's joining us here today. So if you want to ask me or Mukeshji any question, for that you have to use the Q&A option. Now, where will you find the Q&A option? So Q&A option is hidden in the more button. So if you look down below, there's a more button. So there, if you click, you will find there's one button which has a question mark on top. That's the option that you have to use. I will not advise adding your questions in the chat because you'll notice when other participants start chatting, your question will go up. Now, it is difficult to go through the entire chat trail. It sometimes runs into many, many pages. So there's a very good possibility that your question might get missed out or overlooked, unintentionally overlooked. So to avoid that, I will strongly advise you that if you have a question, you should be adding it to the Q&A, and other things, your observations, your thoughts, or your opinion, etc. All those should be added in the chat, right? So that's more for interaction. Nothing question related should be there, and the other things question should be in the Q&A, right? So that is something I wanted to share with you. Another very common question that we get, and I thought of answering it already, that is, will you get the recording of the webinar? The answer is absolutely yes, you will get the recording of the webinar. In fact, immediately as the webinar ends, you will get an email from our side with the link to the recording of the webinar. So yes, you will all get the recording. In fact, I will take a moment to quickly check if the live stream is working fine. Now, why live stream? Because that is firstly getting live streamed on, or this webinar is firstly getting live streamed on YouTube as well as GlobalLinker. Second, that is the recording that you're going to get. So let me just quickly check on that. Although I can see the vitals, they are looking good, but it is always better to cross check because sometimes things don't go as planned. Technology also sometimes has its limitations, so it is always better to check and ensure that everything is working fine. So it is working fine. I have cross checked. So this is where I can also reaffirm to all of you that yes, you will be getting the recording of today's webinar. Now, before we move ahead, let me welcome Mukeshji, who has joined us here today. He is a FIEO official from the Federation of Indian Exports Organization, which is a premier export promotion body by the government of India. And I don't think you all being exporter, they need an introduction for to FIEO. So a very warm welcome to Mukeshji, and I really appreciate him taking time because out of his busy schedule, he has taken out time and he has joined us here today.
Good afternoon, sir, and good afternoon to all participants. Thank you, sir. Thank you.
Thank you. I just saw a chat that the audio is not very clear. Mukeshji, can you hear me?
Yes, you are audible, sir. You are audible.
All right. So there's one comment which I saw that your voice is echoing. Probably you have to lower down your device's audio. And let me also quickly check if there is any change in my setting. Just give me a quick second to check on that. because sometimes your devices also have their own mind and they change the audio levels. No, the audio level is the same. In fact, the mic distance is also the same. So I think the issue might be at your end, right? So, all right. So I can see there are many other participants who are confirming that the voice is clear. So thank you all for confirming that you are able to hear me. Perfect. So to Mr. Abdul, and I think there was some one else who was having an issue. So Abdulji, I feel it may be because of the volume of your device. Just lower it down, and that should be uh, perfect. And the second one, I am not sure who was mentioning. So Lalitji also had an issue. So Lalitji, if you continue to have an issue, one is you check your audio device, your speaker device, if that is configured properly. Second is sometime if you step out of the meeting and join back again, that should also fix it. Otherwise, others are not facing the issue. So that's where I can be uh, at peace that there are no issues. Otherwise, it is something that we have to look into. So just allow me a quick second to just move the chat and Q&A window to the other monitor so that I can keep looking into it. All right, so there is I thought there is a very long question, but then I realized, okay, there is a introduction that someone has sent in the Q&A. All right, so perfect. This is where we are now getting started. So once again, good evening and a very warm welcome to all of you in today's webinar. And this is where I'm now going to start sharing my screen, and we will proceed ahead to get started. All right, so I can see there is a question by Rahul. So, Rahul, I'll try to cover that in my explanation, but you'll have to wait for it a little bit because and that is something that I generally cover in my introduction or my explanation a little later. So, just please bear with us till that time. And in the meantime, let's move ahead. So, we all are gathered here to understand how are you going to do business with international buyers on Indian Business Portal. In next few minutes, you'll start sharing my screen, and we will proceed ahead with our discussion. Sorry, this is my home screen. Somehow the window got minimized. So we are all gathered here to discuss and understand how are you going to do business with international buyers on Indian Business Portal. That's the objective. That's the agenda for today's discussion. But before that, I'm going to take a few minutes of yours and I'm going to share with you a very interesting story and that may resonate with many of you. So just allow me a quick second to walk you through that story. So the story goes like this. Many years ago, there used to be a very rich and powerful king, and that king was very fond of dressing up nicely. So he wanted to wear the best dress in their country or whatever existed at that point in time, right? So he wanted to be the best dressed person of their country, and his birthday was coming. So that's where he instructed his servants that you should go and find the best artisan in my country and get a best dress or one of the finest dress made for me before my birthday. So then servants, because they were not familiar with the artisans or where should they go and where should they find them, so that's where they immediately went to one of the ministers, and ministers guided them that you should be going to a particular city which is very well known for artisans and handloom work, and you'll find the finest artisans there. You can go there and find the artisan and get the dress made for the king. So they immediately set off. However, it was a rainy season, and because of the rain and flooding, etc., they got delayed. And by the time they reached that city, it was already night and the entire city was closed. But still, because they were under tremendous pressure of getting that dress as quickly as possible, so that's where they started inquiring and they spoke to many of the locals. So many of the locals told them that there is a particular street in our city called the Poshak Street. You have to go there, and there you will find the finest artisans which are there in our city. The finest handloom work happens there. So they immediately went to the Poshak Street, but as they expected, because city was already closed, so there was no one there. Now all the shops were closed, but they strolled the street any which ways because they wanted to find the best artisans, and that's where they realized that many of the shops had very good signboards. So they went through and admired the various signboards, and there they got the feeling, or they got this thought that these signboards represent how good these artisans are. So we should be going and talking to the artisans who had the best signboards, and we will then decide whom should we give the order. Now, in the same street, there lived an artisan called Arvind, and Arvind was the finest artisan of that time. His handloom work was phenomenal. His art was seamless. However, he believed that his art, his skill will speak for himself, and that's where he didn't wanted to promote himself. That's why his shop didn't even had a signboard, despite the fact that he was the best of the best of the best. But there was no signboard on that. Now, what happened the next morning when the servants came back to the Poshak Street? They immediately went to the shops which had the fanciest and the most glamorous signboards and talked to those artisans, and they were all very pleasantly surprised that they were getting this once in a lifetime opportunity to create something for the king of the country. So they were very excited, elated to do that, and then they finally decided on one of the artisans and got the dress made. However, Arvind, who happened to be one of the most skilled person of that country, he had the right skills, he had the right material, he had right everything. And ideally, he should have received this order and he should had the opportunity to make the dress for the king. However, this once in a lifetime opportunity didn't go to him. It went to someone else. Now, this story highlights the importance of visibility. Having a skill, having a quality, having the product is not suffice, or it does not always brings you the result. Now, why am I sharing this story with you? Because now those servants are changed. Now almost all of us have those servants, and those servants are AI. We can simply instruct AI to go and find this, go and find that, or find you suppliers. And this is where why am I sharing this so elaborately and taking your valuable time? Because this is something which is happening with your trade, and it is going to critically impact your businesses, and that's why it is our responsibility and duty to always share with you, or at least alert you of what is coming and what is happening. So what change is happening is that a lot of international buyers are using sophisticated AI solutions and AI agents to find and evaluate suppliers. And that is something that we as common human beings can also do, but there are already sophisticated AI agents which are built specifically for this job. Now, what happens if AI is not able to understand about you? And that's where the challenge lies, because unfortunately, I have not seen many businesses who are prepared for this change, wherein AI can understand your business and AI is going to recommend you. Because the underlying fact was that we never prepared for AI. We always prepared for human beings. So whether it is your website or whether whatever you are creating, firstly, we transitioned from the brick and mortar mindset. So we are still carrying that burden. Plus, we never created anything for AI. Like, let's be honest. Out of the audience, this is a question which I want to ask all of you. How many, or is there anyone in the audience who created their website for AI? Because I have met more than 1,000 exporters in past 6 months, and I haven't met even a single one. All of us created it for human beings, where it should be read, understood, and it was created to impress human beings, not for AI, right? So that is the change. So that is something which is coming your way, and all of you should be prepared for that. So I thought of highlighting that through a story because that resonates in a better way. All right. So I hope you found the story interesting. Now, just bear with me for two more slides, just building on that. Now, why this is important or why this is difficult, because unlike traditional search, so if you go to Google and that's where you ask for something, let's ask for black pepper, that's where you will get at least 100,000, 1 lakh results. But if you do the same thing with AI, it will roughly give you 15, 20 results. Now 15, 20 versus 1 lakh, right? So there is some filtration which AI is doing, and that's where it is interpreting the information that is there on the internet about your business, and that's where it is deciding for itself whether you are something to be recommended or whether you are not something to be recommended, your business is to be recommended or not recommended. That is the filtration which is happening, right? So even if you had some information bits and pieces here and there, but if AI is not confident about you, it is not going to recommend you. And that is where the criticality becomes crucial. Firstly, you have to ensure that AI is understanding you, and then you have to work on making it recommend you, right? So it has two parts. It is like not something which you can fix magically. You have to work on both the aspects, and that's where you will be able to make yourself AI understandable as well as AI recommendable. Needless to mention, because most of your buyers are from regions where the technology adoption is far greater. And even psychologically, it is not just the adoption of technology. People are crazily adopting technology, or they are crazily adopting AI for no reason. It is not happening. It is efficient. It is helping us. And we all agree on to that. The presentation in on your screen that you're seeing, it is also made by AI. I provided the input. That's a different story. But the entire thing was, including visuals, this image was also created by AI, and all the images, all the entire storyline, all those images were also created by AI. So it is making us more efficient. It is helping us in many, many ways. And that's where even your buyers, your customers are using AI effectively, not just for writing emails, but also for searching and evaluating suppliers. Now, one of the things I was sometime back interacting with one of my friend, and he happens to be a procurement head with one of the companies in Middle East. So I was curiously trying to understand, like, what is the AI adoption which you are having in your processes. So he mentioned that the first piece which was there for AI is obviously for evaluating quotes, so that L1, L2 analysis is now done by AI. The second is for supplier search. So that's where they are using AI. They have sophisticated tool, much more refined as compared to what we have, which is used for supplier search. And the third one is supplier evaluation. Now, I was curious, like, what is the supplier evaluation? So he told me that they get so many emails as procurement managers or purchase managers from suppliers all over the globe. Now, it is very time consuming to evaluate each one of them and then decide, like, we should be talking to them, we should not be talking to them. Because firstly, they have to take that decision, and only then they invest their time. So that's where now they are using AI. So they'll just forward that email, or they'll just provide the background to that AI tool, and that AI tool will run the entire evaluation and give them report and a recommendation whether you should be investing your time and talking to this particular supplier anymore, or this is not something that you should be pursuing, right? So that is where the AI is going. Now, why am I again telling you? Because in my interactions with exporters, I realized that there are many, many exporters who are just focusing on the cold outreach and that kind of activity. Now, what the implication of this entire AI understandability is happening, even if you are doing a cold outreach, even if you are doing a cold outreach, still you will get evaluated by AI, right? So if you're believing that, okay, I'm not into that website thing and I'm not planning on attracting people, fair enough. Even if you're going this route, it will circle back. Right. So even if you are directly approaching a buyer, there is a very strong chance that the buyer is going to use AI to evaluate you. So that's where it is crucial, it is important, and you are the first one to get impacted. It will have a impact everywhere. So even the domestic purchases everywhere, it will slowly and gradually get absorbed, and that's how we'll start doing things. But the first impact is going to be on you. Right? So that's why I thought of taking some of your time and explaining that. Now, coming to the main agenda of today's discussion, that is Indian Business Portal. Very quickly, what is Indian Business Portal? So, Indian Business Portal is a B2B platform which helps Indian exporters to showcase their offering and offering to international buyers, and international buyers can do business with you either directly or through a RFQ process, and we are going to understand both of these in detail shortly. Now, the objective of creating Indian Business Portal, although I have created a slide, but I'm not going to take your time because I understand in today's day and age, there's no argument about digital. Everyone agrees that digital is the way forward. And as already almost like 50%, 49% of the global export is already happening through digital mediums. So there is no argument on that, and that number is going to increase exponentially. Plus, the fact that the next generation, Gen Z, is actively now maturing or getting promoted to the executive roles, and that's where they are the digital first generation. So anything that does not exist digitally does not exist at all for them. So there are no arguments around that. But why Indian Business Portal? So there are hundreds and thousands of exporters. Now we have to promote and help each one of them. Now, if we are helping each one of them, that will be a very far-fetched and very long exercise. Whereas if we bring them together onto one platform, then it will be easier for the international buyers to find them and for FIEO to promote them. So it helps you at one end in getting exposed or getting visible in front of international buyers. At the same time, it helps international buyers in finding you, because the challenge is not just at your end. Even for international buyers, how do I find verified Indian exporters? Indian Business Portal is the place where you find them, right? So it is helping at both the ends. All right, so let's move on. Now, this is a very common question which I often get in my webinars or interactions. So that's why I just thought of adding a slide around that. And that is who has created Indian Business Portal. So Indian Business Portal is co-created by two organizations. One is the Federation of Indian Export Organization, FIEO, which is an apex export promotion body by the government of India. And second organization is GlobalLinker. Now, I'm sure many of you may not have heard of GlobalLinker, or this is the first time that you're hearing about GlobalLinker. So GlobalLinker, if I have to put it simply, it is a digital or technology ecosystem that helps businesses in going digital and growing digital. I'm saying a simplified version of it. Technical would be a little difficult to comprehend. So two aspects of it: going digital and growing digital. How does going digital happen? So, going digital is where we help businesses in creating their digital presence in form of websites, which can be a B2B website, which allows a business to receive inquiries, or it can be a there's an inquiry example which I'm showing you, or it can be or it can be a B2C website wherein the products can be showcased to domestic as well as international customers, and you can receive orders, right? So this is the online shopping experience that you can offer. The third is where a business is interested in doing both the things at the same time. So there's a business which is into the export of Indian ethnic wear. So at one end, you can cater to the domestic customers or the retail customers by offering the online ordering facility. At the same time, the bulk buyers, whether domestic or international, can use the send inquiry feature to send you an inquiry, right? So both the things are happening on the same time. Two separate websites are not required. Both types of target audience can be catered to and serviced using the same website. So that's the third type of website we can create. There's a fourth type of website which can be created, and it's a very useful and extensive feature which allows you to onboard your bulk buyers, and then bulk buyers can have access to exclusive collection. So let me explain using an example. So this is a fairly popular kitchen appliance and kitchenware brand, and there are hundreds and thousands of small shops and stores spread throughout the country who are reselling their product, right? So they're keeping the products in the store, and then the customer comes and buys that product. Now, those resellers, whenever they have to buy their procurement, they have to call up the salesperson or they have to approach the distributor, etc. Now, those traditional processes have their own inefficiencies, and through the COVID, it was highlighted as well. So that's where this digital solution allows the brand to give online ordering facility to the resellers also. So resellers buying in bulk, they also get the online ordering feature, so they can just simply come here, log in, and then they can place an order, and all the special nuances which are there in distribution retail, whether it is special price, etc., they're all taken care of. Now, you must be absolutely thinking, like, why is Adnan wasting our time explaining this? Because this feature has a utilization in export as well. I understand many exporters, especially in the garment trade, has this apprehension, or they have this fear that if we display our latest product, our latest collection online, it will get copied, it will get stolen. So there, this feature comes into play. So you can have your latest collection uploaded onto the website, but it will not be visible to general public. It will be behind a lock and key, and this is the door. So only the buyers whom you are authorizing, they'll be able to enter and see your latest collection. Everyone else will not be able to see that. So that is a feature which has a utilization export as well. So if you need that feature, so you can explore that. Now, coming back to the presentation very, very quickly. So that's how we help them go digital. So you're creating your own digital presence. Now, curiously, many times people ask me this question, and I appreciate them this being this attentive and asking this question. And I believe this question must be there in your mind also. And the question is, why did you reinvent the wheel? I'll say that again. Why did you reinvent the wheel? And they tend to ask me, or they want to ask me, that website builder solutions already existed. So why did you put in all this effort and build the technology? Why did you do that? So the vision of GlobalLinker is to help MSMEs, small businesses, and in effectively adopting digital, and which is an area where many businesses are struggling. I think many of you will share the same sentiment. So they are struggling, and the reasons are many, many. Lack of technical know-how, expensive technology solutions, developer not supporting, and whatnot are there. So we wanted to create and offer something, firstly, which is very economical. Second, it is giving you the freedom of doing it yourself, which means we have built a no code solution. So you are not dependent on anything. Now, many websites, when you want to even change a word, you have to go back and ask the developer to do that. Not here. Everything, if you can type, you can change everything. So that is something that we wanted to create and offer. And that's why we built it. So one reason was economical. So nothing was within the bound and reach of a MSME. So we wanted to make it affordable for them. And the second was to give them freedom, which the platform gives, right? So that was the solution. And in case that question was there in your mind, so I've answered that. Now, that is around going digital. What is Grow Digital? So for Grow Digital, what we have done is we have taken this unique approach wherein we partner with, sorry, wrong tab. Let me just quickly go back. So we partner with government bodies, and we create these avenues for export, or we create these avenues where our users are able to showcase their offerings, and we provide them additional visibility in front of their potential buyers. So one such example is Indian Business Portal, which we have created in collaboration with FIEO. The second is our own marketplace, which is called the GlobalLinker Marketplace, which is a cross-border B2B sourcing platform. And similarly, we had partnered with the government of Telangana. We also work in other countries. So we worked very closely with the Department of Trade and Industry, Government of Philippines, and we had helped them create marketplaces for two of their major exhibitions, National Food Fair and National Trade Fair. And so that is something that we do. We create these avenues for businesses. So that's the growing digital part. Now, the global trade is changing, and I've already highlighted that as per one of the research done uh, some time back, almost 49% of the global trade, B2B trade, I'm not talking about the B2C or e-commerce part of it, the B2B trade is already happening digitally, and that number is growing exponentially. So that's where every exporter, every business has to adopt digital and be ready for the AI revolution that we are getting into, or we are at the cusp of it. Now, coming to the features which are there for you as an exporter. So one is digital storefront, which is optional. It is not mandatory that you all have to create a website. No, it is optional. If you want to experience the solution, if you want to get the freedom, yes, absolutely, that feature is available. But even without storefront, you can list. Now, second is buyer discovery. So it helps you become visible in front of international buyers. You get access to the RFQ system, you get global visibility, you get free listing, absolutely, and you get your digital catalog as well. So which is a online catalog, right? Now, before I close this presentation and we go to Indian Business Portal and we start discussing the other aspects, I just wanted to show you the entire ecosystem very, very quickly. So this is your business, and I'm firstly starting with how will you become part of Indian Business Portal. So you will either list your products or you'll create your B2B website, and that gets linked with the Indian Business Portal. So this either can be, this is optional. B2B website I have written in the presentation in the slide, but it is optional. If you want to just list your product and show them, that is also there. So that is the joining process. Now, what are the opportunities? So for opportunities, firstly, FIEO is constantly putting in effort and bringing in international buyers onto the Indian Business Portal. So that's where if your business is listed there, your products are showcased there, and they are showcased properly. Mind the word properly, because that's where a lot of time I get disappointed, and if time permitted, I'll try to talk about that. But listing it properly will get you this opportunity. The second is through your website, because you are creating your B2B marketplace. So that's where you can do your own digital marketing and promotion effort, and you can bring in the international buyers onto your B2B website and convert them, or through AI also you can attract them. Now, the third is business community. So you're becoming part of a business community which has users and members from 150 countries. So through business networking, you can connect with them and see or explore prospects if they have a requirement for your products, or they know someone who has a requirement for your products, right? So that's the entire ecosystem. Now, I am going to close this presentation or minimize it, and we will quickly jump back to the Indian Business Portal, and we'll start the discussing the rest of the items that we have on our agenda. The next item which I would want to discuss with you, the next topic which I would want to discuss with you is how are you going to do business with international buyers on Indian business portal? So there are two processes using which you will be doing business with international buyers on Indian business portal. The first process is something which you are seeing on your screen, and that is post buying request. Now, you must be thinking, like, buying request, how are we related to it? We are sellers, so buying request, how are we related? So obviously you are not related, you are end beneficiary of this. So your potential customers are coming here and they are sharing their buying requests that this is what we want to import from India, or they are going to the Indian embassy in their country and sharing their requirement that this is what we would like to import from India. Can you please help us connect with the right organization or government body which can help us? Or they are directly talking to one of the FIEO official, because FIEO happens to be the apex trade promotion body. So there are many exporters who are directly in connection with FIEO officials, or they are aware of FIEO, so they reach out to FIEO. Now, whatever the entry point may be, all those requirements are filtered out and they are showcased here after doing some due diligence, etc. So they are showcased here. Now, these requirements keep coming and going, right? So don't be disheartened that there are only two requirements here. They keep coming and going from time to time. So they're live for a certain period of time and then they are closed, and then there are newer requirements that keep coming. So that's the process that keeps happening. Now, once these requirements are displayed, they are live or displayed for a particular period of time. They are not live infinitely. So during that period, you are, as an exporter, required to submit your response or your request that I would like to fulfill this requirement. I can supply this product, right? So that's where you are sharing your response. Now, once that period gets over, then FIO will scrutinize the responses. It is not like whatever you have submitted, it will go straight away. Why? I mean, it looks like a very unintelligent process. If I was in your place, I will also think like the what, why are you wasting time scrutinizing thing? It is needed because trust me, there had been instances where untoward elements have added wrong things in the response, and had it been shared with the international buyer, fortunately they got caught and they were not shared, but had they been shared, it would have created a very wrong impression of all of us in front of international buyer. As a country as a whole, it would have created a wrong impression, right? So FIO is forced to implement this process wherein all the responses which are shared by exporters, they go through a scrutinization process. It's a AI plus human review that they do, and once that process gets over, that's where it is shared with international buyer. Now, international buyer will go through all the responses. So all of you have shared the responses, so they will go through your responses, and then once they have gone through the responses, they will decide which are the exporters we would like to do business with. So that's how the entire process works. Now, once they have decided what happens next, so once they have decided that these are the exporters, we would like to explore this further. So in most of the cases, they come back to FIO and tell FIO that these are the exporters that we have decided. Can you please also convene meeting or schedule meeting with them? And that's where FIO officials will reach out to you and they'll check your time when you are available, and then they will schedule a meeting with you, right? So that's how and in most cases it happens. In certain cases they will reach out to you directly as well, so they don't want to bother. They are appreciative of the help FIO has provided, so they don't want to bother FIO any further, and they will contact you directly that you had submitted a response for a particular RFQ and I would want to meet you and discuss that further. So that kind of conversation can also happen. So that's the second scenario. The third scenario is wherein they will ask FIEO that these are the exporters which we have finalized. Can you please ask them to contact us directly and schedule meetings with us based on their convenience? So in that case, FIEO will not get involved in the meeting scheduling, but they will ask you that these are the contact details of the international buyers, and you can contact them directly and schedule the meeting. You have been shortlisted. So that's how the third scenario, which also happens, not so frequently, but it also happens. So that's how it is going to transpire. Now, overall, in terms of time frame, you should imagine at least 3 to 4 weeks. Let me just say that again in a little more detail, because once these requirements, once this period gets over, after that there's a scrutinization process, and then client or the international buyer also takes some time. It is not like immediately they receive the list and they decided, or these are the people. They also take their time and they have to discuss amongst themselves also. So 1 to 2 weeks is something that they take. So overall, you should believe within 3 to 4 weeks, you should get an update about the RFQ. In case you want to get an update little earlier, or if you want to get some clarity, so in that case, you can drop an email. I'll share with you the email ID, or in fact, I will show you where you can find that email ID. So if you go to the footer is basically the end of the website, the last thing. So if you scroll down all the way to the bottom, that's where you will find the footer. So this is where you have this email ID, ibb@fio.org. Fairly simple one. So you have to just send an email asking for the clarity or status of the RFQ. So that's something that you have to do if you want to get an update. So that's how. Now, this process is very simple and easy. Anyone and all of you can do that. But we have seen people making mistakes. Or, in fact, if I have to qualify this statement, we have seen exporters with more than a decade's experience, who have more than 10 years of experience. We have even seen them making mistakes. And what are the mistakes? And these are, again, very silly mistakes that we have seen people make. One is not being clear about the requirement. So you saw there is a requirement. Okay, I can supply aluminum frames, and immediately, tuck, 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 you submit the response without being very clear about the requirement. So that's where once you click here, next page has more details of the requirement. Read that, and still, if you have a question, reach out to the FIEO officials on the same email ID which I've shared in the chat, and they'll provide you the clarity. Or even if they don't have clarity, they'll reach out to the international buyer and get you the clarity. Right? So that's one point or one issue which we have noticed. The second issue, and which is slightly greater, that is somehow we have noticed that exporters are little shy or conservative in sharing information about themselves. So in the form, most of the fields are informational fields, which means your company name, your IEC number, etc. Right? So standard information which everyone will have. There are two questions about your experience and capabilities which are asked. Now, these questions are generally for the purpose to give you an option to explain about yourself and give information to impress the international buyer. But what we have seen, that people type, yes, you have experience? Yes. YES. That's it. 3 letters. That's it. Now, if you're doing that, you're almost shooting yourself in your foot. Right? In Hindi, we say, kulhadi pe pair marna. That's the exact thing. Because that's where you are yourself, through your action, putting yourself in a position where your chances of getting shortlisted are absolutely zero. Why will someone shortlist you? The question was to help international buyer evaluate you properly. You should be talking about your experience and the other details. The intent is to provide the details. If you're not providing the details, absolutely there are no chances of you getting shortlisted, right? So that's where you have to add at least 1 or 2 paragraphs. If you can add more, that is great. Again, you don't have to write an essay there. So don't be very detailed, but be at least adding 2, 3 paragraphs talking about your experience. The second is also about capabilities in the same manner. One or two paragraphs you should be adding there. If you have a concern or you have this anxiety that my English is not that good and I don't have anyone in my organization that has nice English and you can write it, use AI and you can use it, right? So you can even dictate it. You can even dictate it through your voice. You don't even have to type it. You can dictate it through your smartphone, and then it will convert that into an engaging and grammatically correct English, and you should put that, right? So don't be shy there. Now, when I'm talking generally about this particular point, that you have to talk about your experience in detail, a lot of startup exporters, they have this question that we are startup, we don't have experience. So what should we do in that? We should be mentioning something, or we should tell that we have experience. Firstly, you shouldn't be doing that. You should not be lying, because that is not just ethically wrong, it is very easy for anyone to find out. Right? So there are agencies which are available to do the due diligence, and in fact, even using AI, it is very easy to find all the details in matter of minutes. Now, when they find out that you are a startup and you have lied about the experience part, obviously you are banned for life. The second part is that you should be talking because you don't have experience, and let's be honest about that. But there's something special that you are bringing on the table, right? Why should they be doing business with you? Either it is in terms of pricing, it is in terms of sourcing, it is in terms of the quality process, whatever it is, you have to talk about that. Again, you don't have to just type yes or no. No, we don't have experience. You should not be saying that. Yes, we don't have experience. We are a startup, but this is what we are bringing specially on the table. And if you're choosing this, you will benefit in this way. That's what you have to say, right? So I hope that clarifies. So this is one of the ways in which you will be doing business with international buyers. This is not the only way. There's another interesting way in which international buyers do business with Indian exporters on Indian business portal. And what is that? So that is wherein they are going to directly connect with you. So let me just quickly see if we can. Let's open this product. And I am looking for something else. Let's open this one. This looks like a agree product or anything else. Let's open this one. So these are actual exporters product, not something which I'm showing you, and I'm just randomly opening them. All right, so here we have three exporters. Now, I was talking about doing it properly. So this is where I'll take a moment to explain. Now, this is where you can see the entire information which is there for this particular product is hardly 30 words. I'm even lesser than that. Now, do you think this will help? No, I'm just talking for everyone, especially as a digital commerce expert. At least 100 to 200 word is required to be considered. Even Google will think, okay, they have a little uh, written less. Let's not give them show them give them ranking, show them on the top. They haven't done that, right? So this is where you have to be detailed as possible, and there's a very long discussion I can get into, so I'm not going there, because otherwise I would be prompted to talk to you for hours and hours on that. So avoiding that, but this is where effort is required. The better this is, the higher your chances is. Now, coming back to the point which I wanted to explain to you. Now, the second process through which international buyers are going to do business with you is wherein they are going to look for the product. So they will either come to Indian Business Portal and they'll use the search to find you, or if they are searching on Google or they are searching using AI, they will directly land on the product detail page. This is called the product detail page. Now, when they are on the product detail page, that's where they can directly contact you, but most of them would want to understand more about you. It is not a e-commerce purchase which is happening. Like, what can go wrong? My exposure is like $50 or $20. So in that case, obviously, there's no detailed thinking or there's no due diligence involved. But when someone is wanting to do a big transaction with you. So in that case, obviously they would want to understand about you in detail. Now, how will they do that? So that's where they will go to the profile. And when they are on the profile, that's where first thing that they will see are the other products that you're exporting. So this is where you can see they wanted to have the garlic powder and they wanted to have the dehydrated ginger powder. So you already have that. So you have listed. So they'll be excited. Yes, I can do much more than just one product, which I was originally seeing. So very nice. And then they would want to understand further about you. So that's where you have the information. I can understand when then they started the business and what is the legal entity type, and the other informations are also here. In fact, there are certifications which they are displaying, so I can also go through the certifications and I can understand, or I can be assured that it is a genuine organization. So most of my questions which were related to this particular exporter, or they were there, whether what other products they have, here you have an answer. What this business is, here you have an answer. Are they a legitimate business? Here you have an answer, right? So most of their important questions are already answered, and that's where they can confidently move ahead to do business with you. Now, how will they move ahead? So that's where the most popular option is right here in front of you, and that is request meeting. Now, request meeting is where they will get on a meeting with you, similar to how we are meeting, not in a webinar format. Obviously, they will be meeting you digitally and discussing their requirement. So that's the most popular option these days. And if I was in your place, if I was in your place, I will firstly be very excited. Okay, international buyers will be able to schedule meeting with me. How nice it is. At the same time, I will be little anxious also. How will I know that an international buyer has scheduled a meeting? Logically, you have that question. So whenever an international buyer is scheduling a meeting, firstly, it is a request meeting. It is not schedule meeting. That the meeting is fixed with the international buyer, Mr. John, at 5 p.m. on Saturday. It's not like that. They're requesting, they're asking, I would like to meet you on Saturday at 4 p.m. Are you available? So that's where you know, okay, Mr. John from this company, this country is wanting to meet you at 4 p.m. on Saturday. If you're available, you can say, yes, I will be available, and let's connect. Looking forward to meet you. Or if you're not available, you can recommend a different time. So first is that. Now, second is coming back to that question. How will I know, or how will you know as an exporter? So whenever a meeting gets scheduled, that's where you get an email update. Now, the challenge with emails is that all of us get hundreds of email in a day, right? All of us do that. And that's where it is very easy to overlook a important email. So first thing that you should be doing is you should be creating a label for Indian Business Portal, so that all the emails or notifications which are coming from here, they go there, and that's where you can look it. So that's one solution. The second and a more effective solution that I would recommend to all of you is that just go to Play Store if you have Android, or if you have iOS, then go to the App Store and download the GlobalLinker mobile application. I'm repeating that once again. So, depending on which device you have, download GlobalLinker mobile application. Now, why am I saying that? So, when you will download and log into your account, so you will get notification alert. So, if there's an international buyer who's wanting to do meeting with you, you will get a notification that this international buyer is wanting to do meeting with you, and then you will not miss out on them. Right. So, that's why I was recommending. However, you also get a control panel. So I'll just very quickly show you that in the control panel, also there is a section where you have the entire meeting. So all the upcoming meetings will be displayed here. All the meetings that you have today, they will be displayed here. So this is a section. So even if after the notification thing, still you have some anxiety left, so this is the place where you can come and see about the status of the meeting. By the way, this is a demonstration account. It's not an actual business. That's why you're not seeing any meetings there. Now, the second method using which international buyers can connect with you is using the contact seller. Now, what happens in case of contact seller? You will get notified by form of email, by form of app notification, and also it will get added to the control panel that this person, Mr. John from XYZ Enterprises from Australia, is wanting to connect with you. You'll get the name, you'll get the company, you'll get the designation and contact details, everything you'll get. So you'll get that information, and then it is your duty to respond back to. So that's the contact seller. Now, where in the control panel you get that information. So in the control panel, that information is displayed in the customer section. So that's where you have the contact us messages. So this is where the information is displayed. All right. So you'll get that information there. Now, if you are also creating the website, in that case, you will also have the website display. Let me see if I can show you. So just to show you that I am going to their profile. So this is a exporter who has created a website as well. So this is where you can see there's an additional button of visit store. So when we click on it, it will take us to their website that they have created. And on the website, because the contact details are displayed, so they sometime also directly contact the exporters on the contact details which are there on the website. So that's how international buyers do business with exporters on Indian business portal. So that is about the topic number two. The topic number three is how are you going to list? Because I believe many of you are not listed on Indian business portal yet. So how are you going to list? So for that, the process is very, very simple. All you have to do is you have to go to Indian business portal. I am just repeating that you have to. The first step is to go to Indian Business Portal. So when you are on Indian Business Portal, this is where you'll see there's an option which sell on Indian Business Portal. So this is the option I'm referring to. So you have to click here, or you can click on register as Indian exporter, which is again very clear. So it will open this page. On this page, you'll see there are two buttons which say the same thing, create your catalog, create your catalog. So you have to click on that, and that will bring you to the next screen. And this is where you have five-step process. You have to go through the process. It's very simple and easy steps, right? You have to do GST verification. You have to input your company name, your name, email ID, those kind of things. So very simple steps you have to go through and complete these steps. Now, once you have completed these steps, you will be shown this control panel. Again, I'm qualifying this is a demonstration account. So once you have completed those five steps, you will be shown this control panel. Now in this control panel on this left side, you will see there are different options. The first step that you have to do is to go to products and upload the products. You can upload them manually by clicking on add product, or you can upload them in bulk also. So if you have a large catalog, you can't do it one product at a time. So you can do it in bulk also. Both options are available. Once you have uploaded the products, once you have added the product, so sign up and then upload the product. Those are the two things that you have to do. Once you have done that, then you have to go to Indian Business Portal. Don't go there without adding the product. That way, your request will get rejected. So let me show that once again. So here on the left side, you have catalog. If you go just down, this is where you'll see Indian Business Portal. So click on that, and this overlay will open up. Overlay is a fancy word for pop-up. So a pop-up will open up. Now it has two parts. One is about your export. So this is where your export related, if you recall, I showed you the profile. Now this is where you have this about section where all this information comes. All this information is coming from this form. Right? So this is very important. This is explored by international buyers, and that's how they understand or perceive you. Very important. So they fill this cautiously. So this is where you have are you a FIEO member or not? input and verify your IC code, type of business, year of establishment, whether you're a merchant exporter or a manufacturer exporter. Are you MSME export turnover for previous 3 years? Now, many times people ask us that we are a startup. We don't have a turnover as such. Select less than $10,000, and less than can be $0 also, right? So it just select that. Countries you have already exported to, say if you haven't exported yet, then you can leave it blank. Countries you would like to explore to, so you can input those countries. Now, this is also something you shouldn't be doing it like randomly, all the 200 odd countries you are selecting that. No, so based on your product, because every product is not exported to every country, so you should demonstrate that intelligence. Otherwise, you will not present yourself as a professional organization. Secondly, when FIEO is looking at certain products, so through the government channel, they have received a requirement and they want to know who are the exporters who are wanting to export to that country. So that's where this information is used. So add it logically and diligently, not just like randomly. I've seen people have added like 200 countries and their product is exported to like 5 countries. What's the logic? Number of employees. So select that, and the most important, license and certificate. As many license and certificate you have, you should upload them. And lastly, what are the advantages and innovations, and what type of proposals you are interested in. And again, it is a multi-select. So if you are interested in contract manufacturing, we can select that and then click on save, which will bring you to the second screen. This is where you'll have the list of all the products that you are wanting to list on Indian Business Portal. So firstly, you have to map the products to the category. How do you do that? So here you are seeing, so firstly, it will not be already mapped. It will be blank. So you have to firstly select them and then you have to select. So this is where I'm just selecting something like buyer leave, agriculture and buyer leave, and I will click on save. So, right, so it is changed. Now, if you have multiple products and you would want to map them, so this is where select them, and that's where you can update category, and again, it will update the category for all the product. Now, similarly, if you want to list them on Indian Business Portal, you can select this and it will list them, or otherwise manually you can toggle this button like this. And lastly, you have to submit this request. Now, submit request for some reason is closed here, but this is where basically you have to just submit the request. But when you go to the submit request page, there is a video embedded there. Please do watch that video, because in that video we have explained what are the reasons or what are the mistakes why your request can get rejected. So if you have made the same mistake, correct that and then submit the request again. So this is how you have to list your products on Indian Business Portal. Now, if you're someone who has made the website, then you also get this elaborate control panel, and you have to do the same function from here. So you have to go to catalog, have to upload the products, and you have to go to Indian Business Portal, and then the same steps, 3 steps, 1, 2, and 3, submit request, and then your products will start appearing on Indian Business Portal. So this is how you have to list your product. Now, on the product upload part, let me try to see if I can show you. I'm not sure because that feature may or may not be enabled. But here in the product, this is the product upload interface. And I was pointing that many of the exporters are not adding the required content. So what we have done to help exporters, we have embedded AI directly. Now, this is where let's take black pepper. Malabar M2, and I am just for the benefit of time just adding the same as product and target audience is international buyers of spices from India, and click on generate. Now, what I'm trying to show you is that these features are already there on the platform. It is just that you have to utilize them. So it will take 10-15 seconds, but you'll notice all the content is created, right? So this is where premium Malabar black pepper M2 and it has created the summary description. It has created the meta title, which is there for SEO meta description. So even the SEO part, it has done for you, and you have to just select, and if you're not happy, you can regenerate it. So all these things are already there, and you have to just use them, and that will help you utilize the platform in a better way, and in a way that it helps you actually achieve your objective. Perfect. So this is where we will turn off the screen share and we'll get into the question answer. So I am going to now move the chat and Q&A windows onto the primary monitor, and we'll just quickly go through the questions which are there. So the first question was actually an introduction. Okay, so the first question is anonymous attendee, and their question is it possible to filter buyers, sellers from GI tagged areas? Yes. In fact, if you go to Indian Business Portal, the first category is GI tagged. So that's where you can filter them out based on location as well. Yes, certainly that feature is there. Okay, so the next point is, or the next question is from Kiran, and the question is has two parts. One is about uh, how GlobalLinker can contribute. The second question, the second part is about the pricing. So, Kiran, with regards to pricing, there are three options that we offer. The first one is wherein you are listing on the marketplaces. So, if you want to list on Indian Business Portal and GlobalLinker Marketplace, just marketplaces, that is absolutely free. There are no charges for it, and you can do it. Second, often the second option is the website builder. So that's where the pricing is 4,999 per year. So and that's the DIY solution, do it yourself solution. And the third is the done for me service. So wherein our team creates the website for you. In fact, let me see if I can show you that. That will help you understand the offering in a better way. Just give me a quick second. All right, so I hope my screen is again visible. So here, as I was mentioning, that if you just want to list the products on the marketplaces, that's where it is free. DIY listing on marketplace is free. So listing on Global Income Marketplace as well as Indian Business Portal, that is free. Now the second offering is the website builder. So in this case, the features get enabled. You have to build a website yourself, but the feature gets enabled. So that is for 5,000 rupees a year. And then you have the done for me, wherein our team of experts will create a AI understandable website for you. So in the entire content creation, everything is handled by the team, and you get a AI understandable website. So there were many examples which I was showing earlier. So let's, no, not these ones. These ones, so these examples which I was showing you, these are many businesses who have availed of this service and got their AI understandable websites made through us. So that is the service part of it. I hope that answers the question. Let's turn off the screen share. Next question is from Rajdeep Banerjee. Can I get an order if I register on Indian as an Indian exporter or an Indian business portal? Now, if you do it the right way, yes, there are there's a strong possibility that you will benefit from it. Now, this is where uh, I early on, and this is not something which I'm saying to Rajdeep, I'm saying it to everyone in the audience. Now, early on, if you were there when the webinar started and we went through a story. So that's where I made one comment that we migrated from, or we move ahead from the brick and mortar model, but we continued to inherit the legacy. And that's where, in terms of the mindset, we continue to have that mindset wherein we are always evaluating it in a way that does this market has enough footfall, then we will open the shop there, that kind of things, right? So it is the same psychology that we are applying in the digital world also. Whereas in the digital world, what you have to look for is opportunity, because understand it is your duty and responsibility as a seller to be available or to be there on every possible touch point that you have for your customer. So if your customer is on Indian business portal, it is your duty and responsibility to be there as well, right? So the psychology also needs to be changed, and we need to adopt a digital discoverability psychology. So that is something which I would want to suggest, that stop evaluating it in the rudimentary way. Stop evaluating things in the rudimentary way. Look for opportunity. Where the opportunity is, leverage it. Uh, Next question is from Ahan Birla, and the question is it suitable for industrial machineries? Right now, go to Indian Business Portal and look for industrial machineries, and you will find so many exporters. Yes, it is suitable. In fact, why should I answer it? Experience it for yourself. So, next question is from Pankaj. He runs a D2C kids clothing brand and has not done export. So, firstly, in terms of positioning, because your business positioning is as a D2C closed brand. So, firstly, you have to work on the positioning. But being there on the Indian Business Portal at least gives you a visibility in front of international buyers. And if there are international buyers who are looking for contract manufacturing and those kind of opportunities, obviously they can reach out to you. So, yes, certainly it will help you and benefit you from being listed on Indian Business Portal. Another thing which I would recommend, that you should be connecting with one of the FIEO officials. In fact, Mukesh ji is with us here today, but because we have overshot our time, so I would not ask him to explain. But what you should do is the same email ID which I shared, I will share that once again, ibp at fio.org. You should drop an email with the details of your business, and one of the FIO official will connect with you and they will guide you how actually you should be going about it, right? Because you don't have a export experience and they are the specialist in exports. So that's where they will be able to guide you and help you in a better way. So please do schedule a session with them, reach out to them, and try to get an appointment and then meet them, and they'll be able to guide you. All right, so that was surprisingly in today's session there are less number of questions. There's one question by Man Jain. So Man, we will reach out to you and help you with the formality. Okay, so in the chat, I can see there is a comment by Mr. Satish Menon. So, Satish, and this is something which I find very absurd. You have a problem, and then you waited all the while to a webinar to happen. You could have just reached out to our help desk that this is the challenge which I'm facing, and someone from our help desk could have reviewed your profile and pointed out that this needs improvement, that needs improvement, and that would have been much quicker, right? So, in please don't wait. There are people who are willing to help you. They're out there. Their role is to help you. Uh, so if you get any issues, if you're feeling there may be something which is impacting you, yes, certainly you should be reaching out to our help desk. Now, in this case, I would request you that you should please share your business details. Just chat them here. What is your business name? So that it is there in the chat, and then I will get it reviewed, and we'll get back to you where the areas of improvement are there or where the issues are, so that we can look into them. Okay, so next is Mr. Jatin Verma. So they are into kitchenware, jewelry, pickleball, and they have an e-commerce website done exports also. So how can the it will certainly give you a better visibility and the additional visibility, because this is a platform which is created for international buyers. Plus, it gives you a FIEO verified tag also. So if you are here, obviously it improves your credibility, and that is one of the trust building exercises that is done to improve the credibility for AI. Yes, so it will help you with the AI trustworthiness also. Okay, so there are three questions which are asked by Zafar Sharaf. So, how long have been you been teaching digital marketing? First of all, I don't teach digital marketing. I'm a digital commerce expert. So there's a difference. How many people are using this platform? More than 500,000. And how many buyers have contacted through the platform? I don't have the numbers, but probably in hundred thousands or more than that. I don't have the numbers, but yes, that is there. And just adding on to Mr. Zafar's point, so I am a digital commerce expert with more than 20 years of experience, and I've been doing webinars on digital and technology for some time, and I have done more than 500 webinars in different countries, and I have the wonderful opportunity to share a little bit of knowledge with more than 19,000 businesses. So that's a little introduction about myself. I hope that helps. So okay, so there is a comment by Mr. Vivek George, and the comment is that they have added the products they are in the base plan. Now, can buyers approach me? Yes, they can. Can I approach buyers? No, it does not work like that. So buyers are either posting RFQs or they are directly initiating a chat with you. So those are there. RFQs are generally open, so that's where you can submit your request or submit your quotation, and then buyers will respond back with you with their questions. They'll negotiate with you and they'll close you. So that's how it happens. So to protect the buyer's privacy, and we are required to do that. So unless the buyer is willing to share their contact details, we can't share them, but yes, you can interact with them. So, but if they are chatting with you directly, because there are two things which happens. One is RFQ. Second is they're directly initiating a chat. So in that case, you can ask their contact details and you can even take it offline. So that flexibility is there. Can a link of my website be copy pasted? Next question is from Madhuri ji. So, link of your website copy pasted on the platform, on the GlobalLinker platform. Yes, it can be there, but you have to still upload the products. You have to go through that effort. So there's a very interesting question by Mr. Naveen. His question is, what if there are many exporter for a particular product? So in that case, who shows on the top? So one is it changes the sequence keeps changing from time to time. So if I open it right now, so there will be a different sequence. If I open after some time, there will be a different sequence. But there are certain prioritization which is done. One is with regards to the quality of the content. So if there's an exporter who has who has added the content in quite detail, they have proper description, visuals, etc. So obviously those are given priority, and the other ones who are not that detailed in their approach, obviously, because it is also giving the right or the more serious ones on the top rather than promoting the non-serious ones, which is counterintuitive and counterproductive. Yes. So so what are the parameters which have an impact? Yes. Firstly, the quality of the content, and there your keywords also come into play. The second is how active you are on the platform. So if you are someone who hasn't logged in for past 6 months, what are the chances that if we continue to show you, will you respond to the inquiries which are coming, right? So how active you are on the platform, how quickly you are responding. So if there are inquiries that are being sent to you, are you responding to them? If you're not responding to them, then what is the benefit, right? So that's how. So your performance matters. The more active you are, the better the quality of the content is, and how quickly you're responding. That's where your visibility goes up. All right. So there is a question uh, from Arun. And his question is about the data. So we host on AWS. Earlier, we used to host on Microsoft Azure in Singapore, but Indian government guidelines wanted us to move the data centers to India. So we have moved to AWS India, and we are a PCI DSS certified. So because you're talking in technology terms, so I hope you understand PCI DSS. So we have that level of security. I'm just scrolling up and seeing if there's a question which I should answer. Next question is, or something which I just noticed in the chat is from Mr. Sanjay. Wants to have websites which were created by us. So, Mr. Sanjay, drop me an email. I will share the list with you. Just give me a quick second. I am sharing my contact details with all of you in the chat in a moment. So, There's a comment by Yogeshwari, most of them not mentioning email ID and website, of them not clear how to contact with them. I'm not sure. Was this question about international buyers or what? Was it about sellers? Next comment, does FIEO pass on exporters who are not FIEO members? So even if you are not a FIEO member, if you have an IC code, you can list on Indian Business Portal. Next question, Naveen Kumar, what if we are new to exports? So in that case, you should talk to one of the FIEO official. Drop an email on ibp@fio.org. IBP is the short form for Indian Business Portal, ibp@fio.org. And one of the FIEO official will connect with you and they will guide you with the process. Are we going to get the recording share? Yes, you will all get the recording. Uh, Next comment was from Swaroop. Comment was, can we create account on Indian Business Portal without taking FIEO membership? Yes, you can do that. You have to be an exporter. You need to have a valid IEC code. That's the only requirement. Yes, GST is also there. So GST and valid IEC, those are the two requirements. Next question or comment was from Gautam. Can we list gluten-free products? Yes, certainly you should list. Next question is from Ved Patel. Are all leads FIEO verified? No, they are not. FIEO does a level of due diligence, but it is strongly recommend to all of you that if you're getting a lead, if you're getting a buyer inquiry from Indian Business Portal, then you should do or you must do the due diligence yourself. It is not guaranteed that it is a genuine inquiry. Uh, Next is Nayan Kumar. Is there a helpline number to guide carry out this procedure? This is a DIY platform. It is a very simple and easy to use. You should be able to do all that. Otherwise, we have tutorial videos which are available. You can refer to them and you can do the entire setup. All right. So this is where we have reached to the end. The last comment which I'm seeing is from Mr. Naveen. So, Naveen ji, this is a slightly more detailed topic. And how do you optimize? And I've done webinars also around them. So, I don't think we have enough time. We have already overshot our time by half an hour. So, I would request that we connect this offline. So, you can drop me an email. I've shared my email ID. Drop me an email and we'll find a suitable time sometime in the coming week, and we'll connect over half an hour session and I'll personally guide you how you can do that, how you can optimize your content. All right, perfect. So I hope that helps. And this is where we should conclude this session. So before we do that, let's once again thank Mukesh ji for taking out time and participating.
Thank you,
And
sir.
you staying for half an hour more. We have overshot the time.